Hey guys, RanterInShades here, exercise my first Memorettes vlog style, and it's time for an episode of What's Wrong With that's been requested for quite some time.
What's wrong with me? You wanna know what's wrong with me? I can ask you the exact same thing. What's wrong with me?
I've intended on talking about Slipknot in this series for a long time, but I didn't really want to jump straight into it. I like the idea of keeping the audience on their toes, so to speak, but here we are. Finally talking about this band that seems to be a favorite scapegoat amongst elitists. Slipknot have always been a favorite of mine as far as 90s metal and nu metal go. I almost see it as Slipknot being so unique that nu metal seems like a genre they were just lumped into just for the sake of lumping them in somewhere. Because as far as the genre goes, Slipknot are damn aggressive musically. They take a very thrashy approach to the genre, although at times they can be melodic. Point is, they are anything but soft. I like Corey Taylor as a vocalist, both in Slipknot as well as in Stone Sour. The way I see Stone Sour, they're a band that fans of Slipknot should at least be aware of. Some Slipknot fans I've spoken to aren't too crazy about Stone Sour, and I can sort of understand why, since they have a lot more of a mainstream appeal than Slipknot is known for. I personally like Stone Sour a fair amount, maybe not as much as Slipknot, but it's a feel that I'm quite used to in alternative metal. Back to Corey Taylor, I like his voice a lot. He can pull off sensitive and aggressive quite well, depending on what song it is. I personally prefer his clean vocals over his growled vocals, mainly since I've always been more drawn to clean vocals, but his harsh vocals can really bring a house down. Mick Thompson and Jim Root, both good guitarists. I like a lot of Slipknot's riffs, and when there's a solo, it flows quite nicely. Joey Jordison on drums, he's very technical and can really hit hard. I've been fond of his drumming for quite a while, and do find him to be talented. And yes, I am also a fan of Scar the Martyr, his industrial post-knot band that I guess is his primary focus at the moment, given that he is no longer in Slipknot. Other bands connected to Slipknot I'm a fan of include Murder Dolls, which is a horror punk alternative metal side project. Joey Jordison is a guitarist and as well as a drummer. This band also features Wednesday 13 on vocals, who is pretty legendary as far as horror punk and glam punk go. The other Slipknot related band being To My Surprise, which was a really short-lived alternative rock band that featured Sean Clown Cran, one of the percussionists in Slipknot. They only released one album in 2003 while Slipknot was on hiatus, and I originally heard of this band not through Slipknot, but because their song Get It To Go was the theme song of the game MVP Baseball 2004, which was a game my brother really enjoyed playing. If you ask me my favorite Slipknot album, I would definitely say Iowa. I see that album as a good medium between the self-titled and Volume 3. Volume 3 would probably be my second favorite, then the self-titled, and All Hope Is Gone and .5 The Great Chapter are probably tied after that. It's not that I think those two albums are shit, I just think that All Hope Is Gone doesn't exactly live up to the self-titled, and .5 The Great Chapter comes a lot closer, since it's essentially a mix of Iowa and Volume 3, but it hasn't grown on me as much since it came out last October. Now it's time to debunk the flack. One common argument I see against Slipknot is, they wear masks, it's not Halloween. Yeah, I know they wear masks. Does it really matter? It has no effect on the music at all, so why should that bother anyone? It falls under image, and like we've talked about before on this channel, image does not correlate with music. So shut up about them wearing masks, please. What if I told you there was a reason for the masks? What if I told you that they weren't a gimmick, The band describes the masks as a way to give them their own identities to feel intimate with the music. They're also used to separate the performer from the individual. For example, Sid Wilson is the individual, while Rat Boy is the performer. Sean Cran is the individual, while Clown is the performer. See what I mean? The next argument I usually see is, they have 9 members, that's too many. So? Leonard Skinner has 7 and no one seems to complain about them. Chumbawamba has 8, and no one seems to complain about that. What relevance does the number of members in the band have to do with anything? And if you're going to complain about, they have people playing trash cans and turntables, they're useless, maybe they contribute to the uniqueness of Slipknot's sound? Sid, Clown, Chris Fiend, and Craig Jones, they're talented in their own way and contribute something unique to Slipknot's overall sound. But they suck. They don't solo. Pulse of the Maggots, Sulfur, Vermilion, Kill Pop, Goodbye, All Hope Is Gone, Dead Memories, Psychosocial, Nomadic, and Gematria the Killing Name. That's 10 songs out of a plethora of others that have guitar solos. Good guitar solos, might I add. And these are just part of the reason I dig the instrumentation of Slipknot's songs. So if you're going to say that they don't solo, you really should do your research to back it up. And even if they never soloed, who says they need to? Isn't there more to metal, or rock for that matter, than solos? Not every song needs a solo. Some songs are just fine without one, and adding one would be kind of unnecessary. Do I like solos? Hell yeah, I do. I view it as a major characteristic of metal. But if you know anything about songwriting and flow, you would know that there needs to be some moderation as far as the solos go. Even in my band, not every one of our songs has a solo. A lot do, but a good bit don't. Other arguments I see against them mainly have to do with their genre. Like I said at the beginning of this, Slipknot have always been on the thrashy end of the spectrum, almost to the point where calling them nu metal or alternative metal seems like a misclassification. So given that that's the case, I honestly think you should have an open mind and give them an honest listen. Who knows? Maybe you might find something you enjoy about them. That's all I have to say here. Now here's the point where I ask you, the viewer, what's wrong with Slipknot? Please be rational when leaving your thoughts in the comment section below, and have a great day. I'm Shades, and I'll see you next time.